In today's video, we are revealing the top 5 banks that will give you up to $100,000 for your new LLC. Now, whether you are launching a new startup or you are an existing entrepreneur seeking funds to expand your business, then this video is the perfect one for you. We'll dive into the best banks that will be offering you high-limit credit lines, loans, and financing options that are tailored for new LLCs. So stay tuned while we dive into these must-know business credit secrets. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. The Next Level Life Hacks, where we take the next step. Hey. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. The Next Level Life Hacks, where we take the next steps needed to grow towards our financial success. Now, in the last video, we went over establishing your new LLC. So we are going to be starting here based on the premise that you have taken those 21-day steps that I outlined in the last video. You have established your LLC, all of the requirements for that, have all your business documents, and now we're going to be utilizing it. So if it is that you have not established your LLC, you need to go back and watch that video. I'm going to be placing it here, there, somewhere. So watch that video, then return to this video for us to continue. Now, so now that you have established the LLC, it is very critical that we move fast, because for you to qualify for these funds, then you have to be a new business. You have to be as new as possible, because what are we going to be using? You're going to be using the stated income clause. What is that? You will not be required to produce any financial records, any tax returns, any W-2 statements, none of that. You are going to be asked on the application form to state what your anticipated revenue or income from the business is going to be over the next 6 to say 12 months. Once you place that amount responsibly though, then that will be used to approve the loan. Pretty simple, right? It is therefore critical and important for you to realize that we need to act now before you pass this 3-month period. You're going to be considered as an existing business, and you are then going to be asked to verify your revenue or your income from the business. We don't want that. So let's move right now. Before we dive into the process though, or to the top 5 banks that are going to be approving these amounts, why would you want to apply for credit in the business name? Some persons would say, why not apply in your own name? Wrong. It is very important in setting up your business that you separate the two entities. It's also important to protect yourself because the LLC is going to be established as a separate entity. Therefore, it is liable for its own accounting and it is held liable as itself. You have to separate so that your accumulation in terms of your assets are not affected if the business should not be as successful as you want it to be. Therefore, it is critical that you separate your finances. Now, with the LLC being established as itself, it gives you a legal shield. It protects you from any litigation or any liability that the company might incur. So, for example, in my Airbnb business, I established that under my LLC's name so that if there are any litigation, any lawsuits from any guests or anyone else, then therefore they have to go through the LLC entity and I am protected as an individual. The next thing that is important in setting up these credit lines through the business is that you need to develop and build your credit history and also your credit worthiness. Just as how you establish your credit score and your credit worthiness, and you need to maybe watch this video that I looked at how to establish or improve your credit score, it is the same importance for establishing your business credit. You want to make sure that it is strong as a credit-worthy entity so that you can continue being granted financing in the future. The other thing that it allows you to is to establish your professional image. Now, when you are representing the business or when you put your business forward for whether it be grants or financing in the future, once your company has its credit history, then it establishes itself as a professional. Also, because of the steps you have to go through to qualify for these financing, it also sets you up to appear more professional. Because remember, you're going to be having your website, you're going to be having your business address, business email, business phone number. With all of these business-natured subjects arranged or established rather, then you are going to be having a more professional image. As you grow as well as a business entity and you want to approach different vendors, whether it be, as I said, for grants and so on, they like to see that the person or the business that they are dealing with has some amount of credit history and credit worthiness, because you are seen to be as more established, for want of a better term. So therefore, it is critical that you establish this as well. And possibly most importantly, is that especially if you have not attained certain milestones within your life, like purchasing a house, then you want to remove these finances off your personal record so that your personal credit history is clean and robust so that you can qualify for things that you want in your personal life. So keep them separated, your personal and your business finances. Now let's look at the top 5 banks that will approve your business credit by just using your stated income. The first one is Chase. Now, Chase is a very reputable and a large bank that will approve you based on your stated income. You will get up to $100,000 in terms of either a business line of credit, or they will approve certain credit cards for you that you can build towards the $100,000 milestone that we are growing towards. Now, what their requirements are, Chase can be a little bit more strict in terms of their requirements. So be careful in terms of arranging your documents and what you say on the application, because it's going to be on record, on file, and it will be used to determine other financing or other arrangements or allowances in the future. So be careful with Chase. I find that the larger the banks are, then the more strict that they are, and you have to just be a bit more careful in terms of making sure that all your documentation is in line and that you are accurate on your application. Now, what will Chase require? The simple things that we arranged from the previous video, so this is going to be pretty easy for you. They're going to be needing your articles of incorporation, they're going to be needing your EIN, they might ask for your operation agreement, and they will ask you for your personal information like your social security number and government issued ID for you to provide. Make sure you ask as well from the beginning that you are interested in getting their business credit cards as well as their business line of credit. Another important thing that they might ask you for is your NAICS, and this stands for the North American Industry Classification System. And as the name suggests, it is basically asking you what is the classification of your business. So therefore, do your research and obtain that number on the website, and I'm going to be posting it in the description box below, so you will have that ready for any time it is requested. It might not only be required by the financial institution, it can also be asked for by any organization that you are seeking grants or funding from. Now, in terms of your business account with Chase, choose the one that allows you the least amount of minimum daily balance in the account, or you will be charged a fee. Also, review it properly as to which account will be most suitable for your type of business. Be straightforward and upfront in terms of all the things that you expect to conduct in your business. If you're going to be a merchant requiring a point of sale machine, or is it that you're going to be having frequent transactions into the account? Because as I said, Chase is very strict in terms of how you operate your business account. However, we're going to look past that because the goal is to get the financing, the business line of credit, and to get that Chase Business Inc. card that you will be granted. The second financial institution that you're going to be approaching is the Bank of America. And just like Chase, this is a larger bank that will have more guidelines. However, the process is pretty simple and you will get approved once you present the right documents. Again, it's going to be the stated income clause that you're going to be using to get the approval for the credit cards or the business line of credit. Bank of America can allow you up to $20,000 in terms of a credit limit on a credit card. You can get up to 21 months to make that payment. It's going to be a 0% APR. So all these funds accumulated will give you or will allow you up to the $100,000 in terms of the financing. So make sure you do the process correctly. What are the expectations here? Of course, you're going to be asked for your business name, the same articles of association, the same EIN, your documents. You submit them, complete the form. Remember, you can go through the process, whether it be online or in person. You will need to set an appointment with a business client agent and you will be approved. My tips for a successful application: just make sure you have all your documents ready. If it is that you're going for the interview, make sure you have your ID, your paperwork for the business. They can pull up certain things online for the business if you give them the EIN or the registration number on the articles of incorporation. But I would recommend that you go with all your documents so that the process can be as simple as possible and you will not have to be rescheduled for another appointment, because sometimes these appointments can be far in between. The next financial institution is PNC. And PNC is great in terms of a small to mid-sized bank because, as I mentioned before, Chase and Bank of America are larger banks, but I do like working with the smaller banks. What are the reasons for this? One is that they are more community oriented. So especially if you are from the community surrounding that bank, then they might have special grants or allocations or financing for certain community projects that your nature of business might be a part of. So you might be able to qualify for additional financing at lower interest rates than the regular amounts. I do find as well that with these smaller institutions, there is a more customer orientation in terms of how they deal with you. There might be a more personable approach from the officers, and you tend to get approval much faster because you do not have to go through the underwriting process of the larger financial institutions. Now, the same documentation is required. You might just need to give additional information in terms of what you plan to do within the community. And these questions might be geared towards the background knowledge of the agent because they want to know what other programs you might qualify for. So be prepared to discuss these things and have ideas in mind in terms of the community relations that you plan to do. If you're a nonprofit organization, have your activities ready to discuss with them so that they can direct you in the best path for how to get further financing or granting at a lower rate than the normal interest rates might be for their loans or their business lines of credit. Now, the other two banks are similar in size to PNC, and I love working with them as well just because of that personal feel you get and how relatable they are, and they are Truist and US Bank. Another bonus bank that I'm going to be giving you as well is the Regions Bank. And these banks are, as I mentioned before, small in nature, more personal, and especially the Regions Bank, they have several promotions, several offers that will be available to you as a small business that you can capitalize on. Even for opening certain new types of accounts, you can be allowed certain allowances that you can get cashback rewards or awards on these accounts. So ask the agent that you're speaking with if there are any special offers existing at the time that you can capitalize on. But these smaller banks will allow you the line of credit at a much faster rate because, as I mentioned before, you do not have to go through the underwriting process. And just like that, I have given you up to 6 banks, just because you stay to the end of this video, that additional one of the Regions Bank, that you can go in and use a stated income clause to get qualified for your business line of credit, financing, your business credit cards that can allow you up to $100,000 in financing. As I mentioned before though, be responsible with these allocation of funds because they can either make you or break you. Have a plan in place as to how you plan to expand your business if you are existing, or what you plan to do with the capital for your new business if you are just starting up. Once you have these credit cards, you can either liquidate them to get the funds that you need, or you can use them to purchase whatever items you need for your business. At the end of the day, though, you need to be responsible because these funds need to be repaid at the end of the period, or you will have significant interest accumulated. But as I mentioned in the last video, I have another secret to give you as to how to extend your credit line for these amounts that you have been granted for what? 0% interest as well. So stay tuned for that next video. Now, as usual, my friends, if you have found any part of this information to be useful, please like, subscribe, share with other business owners that are looking to grow their business, or you might know someone who is looking to start their business as we grow towards our financial success. Thank you for your support so far. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.